Hey y'all! Welcome back to the Wellness Plug TV with your girl Nadia by Nature, and I'm here today to join myself with this beautiful lady here that's going to educate us and give us some knowledge about her background and her skills. But first, before we get there, I want to just encourage you guys to take some time today and breathe. Today has been a journey for you, and I do understand that. But at the same time, you have to still breathe. And I don't mean breathe and like you just talking like we're breathing now. I mean, take some time to actually sit down, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and give yourself some gratitude. Give yourself some time. Make sure you give yourself those positive affirmations and those thoughts to de-stress your body and to give you that real energy that we're collectively needing from you in order for you to continue your journeys. So be great. And in order to be great, we're going to share some knowledge with you today with Miss Lisa Lee, and I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hey, hi Nadia. Good to see you. Oh, yes. As you know, my name is Lisa Lee. I am a wellness and self-love coach for midlife women who are ready to make
Mm.
themselves a priority in their health and wellness. Yeah.
Yes. So, deep into self care. Yes, we're going to have a nice conversation
Definitely.
here.
Yes. Yes.
So, dive in whichever direction you like to go in.
Well, I guess I'll start with my story
Hmm.
and how I came about sitting in front of you. This happened about, let's see, gosh, when my son was 4 years old, and he's 17 now, so it's been a quiet journey. I was studying to become a marriage and family therapist, so I
Hmm.
was getting my master's. I was going to school. It was night school, and I had a little 4-year-old little boy who was running around
Mm.
who wanted my attention. And I was feeling it. I was pretty much kind of overwhelmed with all the
Wow.
obligations of being there for him as a mom and being there as a student. And then I had a husband and being there as a wife. And then,
Mhm.
doing all the day to day obligations of making sure everybody was taken care of. And I was getting close, I mean, really close of being burned out. And
Mm.
I had gained about up to 178 pounds. And for 4'11", that is a lot for my body. And my knees were really
Wow.
bad. I was in a lot of pain. And I even hired a coach, a personal trainer, thinking
Mhm.
like, okay, this person's going to help me and she's going to get me on the right path.
Mhm.
And the only way to work is if you put in the time. And I did not put in
Correct.
the time. And so she said, I think you might need a health coach. I'm like, what the heck is a health coach? And she goes, they come to your house and they work with you specifically on your needs. And I'm like, okay, this might be somebody like already a nutritionist, a dietitianist. They're
Gotcha.
going to tell me, reduce your calories and increase your exercise. But when I met Grace, she really made me look and stop at what I was doing. And
Wow.
she asked a very, very, I guess, transforming question to me. And that was, how do you see yourself
Mm.
10, 20 years from now? And I wasn't even thinking about what I'm going to do the next day. So for her to kind of bring that to my attention, I'm like, I don't know. And so with her help and guidance and me really working on my roadblocks, I really understood what was standing in my way. And
Mm.
I realized at that time, I'm like, you know what? There isn't anything about people talking about the psychology piece of
That's right.
losing weight.
Mhm.
They were talking about more the physicality,
Mhm.
like I said, what foods to eat and how to
That's right.
exercise and everything. And being a midlife woman, I was in my 40s. So I was going through perimenopause. I was dealing with a lot of the symptoms. And so I kind of realized, I want to bring this to women's attentions. I really
Mm.
want to start helping women with the psychology part
That's right.
of losing weight. So I finished up my master's, got my degree, put up my little shingle. I even opened a spa up to specifically help with women. It was like a wellness spa. And that did well, except I was kind of taken away from helping
The
people as much as I wanted because I
the
was
name.
going back to the day to day of trying to run the business. So
Mhm.
took myself off that business. It was great. I licked my wounds and I just resumed and I opened up another company, which is Luna Wellness.
Okay.
And I was doing well. I was doing well. And then the pandemic hit.
Mm.
And so I was like, oh my gosh. So I was helping women dealing with weight loss, but now I was dealing with women who are dealing with stress. Like, they're at
Mm.
home now. They're trying to, how do they balance work and life? Everything's under one roof.
That's right.
And it was just crazy. And I was giving them some guidance. And I had one lady who called me, who reached out to me in my Facebook group, and she says, I want to work with you. I'm like, okay, let's set up. And we talked. I'm like, well, how much weight do you want to lose? She goes, I don't want to lose weight. I'm under a lot of stress. And I'm like,
Oh.
oh wow, okay. So we worked on her where she was in her business. I had a very high stressful job, and the pandemic kind of pushed her even more to be under
That's right.
stress.
Mhm.
So she was dealing with a lot of things. So we worked on setting boundaries. We worked on flipping the script, which was like, what are the limiting beliefs that she was listening to
That's
herself in her
right.
mind,
Mhm.
um, and trying to make herself a priority in her life because she was
Mm.
always putting people, as a priority and all her obligations and everything. So by the time she got to herself, she was like drained
Burnt
out.
out. That's
She
right.
had nothing. So after working with her, she said, Lisa, I wouldn't know where would I be without you. You had changed my life. You had made myself, you kind of made me realize how important I was to myself.
Mhm.
And I have to say, Nadia, that was like a little light bulb went on. I'm like, oh my gosh,
I got to do
this,
this.
this is what I need to do. I go, I really need to kind of help these midlife women understand the importance of making themselves a priority. So that's when I shifted and everything. And my mission today is to help midlife women understand their health and wellness and how it's a priority. And the way I approach it is through self love, because without
Mm.
self love as a strong foundation, it's hard to make changes. Just like
Mhm.
I did when I was back in the days when I was trying to lose weight. I didn't understand about self love. I
Mm.
talked about it, but it didn't really become a very valuable
Mhm.
foundational tool until I worked with Teresa.
And it's because we are pushed towards the physicality. Like you said, we're pushed towards the physical things, the diets, the fads, and all
Mhm.
those things. And eventually we forget about ourselves. We still, at the end of the day, we still forget about ourselves. Like
Yeah.
you can go to the gym all day long. You can go and eat a salad. And then you're taken away from the realistic part of you getting the the nutrients, the balance that you need to keep
Yeah.
you going.
You
And
you can.
and to gain that energy back that you said you ran out on.
Right. I mean, because self-love is
Mm.
such a valuable tool because what it does, it allows you to go through your life and
Mhm.
through your journey of understanding that whenever anything comes up to you, whether it's a challenge or a new adventure, you always stop and think about like, how is this going to affect me? How
Mm.
am I going to deal with this in my life? How
That's
I'm
right.
going to still keep myself a priority.
That's right.
And so by keeping those questions in mind,
Mm.
you are always making sure that your health and wellness is a priority. And you can still do the things you want to do. You can still be there for family and friends and still be the person, the woman you want to be, as long as you keep yourself as a priority. Because once you start keep avoiding that and not putting in these self-love practices, you kind of go back to your old habits. You're like, oh
Mm.
well, they need more help than I do. Oh well, my kids need me more than I need to go walk, or I need to eat healthy, but right now I can't because I'm on, I got meetings back to back. I don't have time. So there's always something that is a priority or something that needs to be taken care of. And so
That's true.
by the end of the day, Nadia, you're kind of, you look at yourself, you're like, where is that woman that I used to be? You know?
Or where's the woman that you've put on the vision board that you want to
Yes.
be?
Oh my gosh, yes.
that you've been trying to get to. I just interviewed someone where she was telling me that her mom waited till she turned 60 to get the kids through college and all those things, and just to start traveling. And basically, what she was saying was she hated her mom died not even 5 years later from 60 after she retired and made sure that everybody was good and well. She died from cancer.
Oh,
And she said, I hated that we believe, and it's set up to make us believe that if we don't be good moms or good wives or daughters or mothers, that we're going to miss out on life. But actually, if we don't take care of ourselves, we're going to definitely miss out on life. So she died
right.
at an early age
Gosh.
because she was adamant about taking care of everybody else, which of course we know that, diseases are uh, a root cause of, from stress, stressing yourself out. It can be monetary, it can be, whatever, financially, and
Yeah.
go on and so forth.
You're right. I mean, yeah, because we don't see stress or the things that we're thinking to ourselves or anything as a reaction. I mean, we see it, we take it at full value when we hear ourselves say, "Oh my gosh, I'm overweight. Oh, well, I'm too lazy. I can't stay on a diet because I love carbs, or
Mm-hmm.
I just don't have time." And you believe those thoughts. There is no, like I said, no flipping of the script where you say, "You know what? Yes, I love carbs, but that doesn't mean I can't be healthy. I can
That's
still enjoy
right.
my cupcakes and whatever I want, but on a very smaller scale and make
Mm-hmm.
myself a priority." And it's like, this is the thing that I want so much to help my clients
Mm-hmm.
understand, that self-love is very impactful because it changed my life. I was 178 pounds. I've lost 40 plus pounds and I'm still losing it. And, being a
Gotcha.
menopausal woman, it's hard to lose weight. And I get
Yes.
it.
And
It's
like you said, because it's hormonal and it's the changes, and you trying to find that balance, and that's what I educate my women in. I'm like, just creating a balance, is very important. And we start with those emotions, because the first thing that takes on is anger and stress and anxiety, and then
right.
that's where you can't take care of yourself like that.
No, you get hijacked by all your emotions. And that's where I kind of tell my clients, you got to stop, do that
Mm.
mindful meditation and just say, checking in with your body, checking in with what's going on and what's going on in your environment. And then you get grounded and you start doing your exercises, your deep breathing exercises, and asking yourself, what is it that I need right now to
Mm.
help me with XYZ? Because
Mm-hmm.
when you allow yourself that compassion and understanding, you will go further compared to where you
Mm.
are always kind of having that inner critic coming in.
That's
See,
right.
you can't do this.
That's right.
You're not a good mom because you're not there for your son, or you're not a good wife because you're not making sure you have dinner on the table. And it's just those old ways that we were taught when we were
Mm.
young girls that are following
To be
us.
perfect.
Yes,
To
there is
be perfect.
no such thing. And to bring a little story into this whole thing, when you brought about being perfect, I remember when I got married and my mother had told me, and I love her to death. She passed on. She had
Oh,
cancer.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and so what she told me during when I was married, she's like, "Don't lose weight. Don't gain weight. You want to make sure your husband's happy, and
Wow.
always make sure you always there, you make yourself look good, and you make sure that you're not a problem, and everything." In her way, she was trying to tell me things out of love. But what she did, and unfortunately, was that she made me feel incomplete, that
Mm-hmm, hmm.
whatever I was doing was not enough,
Not enough.
and I wasn't able to kind of meet that yardstick that she had put up against me. And
Gotcha.
so whenever I felt like I wanted to approach her to talk to her about what
It
I
was
was going
uncomfortable.
through, she was like, "See, this is what I mean. You need to do this," or and it wasn't
Wow.
no support. And it pushed me to having anxiety. And I
Mm-hmm.
would have these panic attacks and everything. And I'm like, where are they coming from? I
Mm.
didn't know. And I had to see a therapist, and the therapist and I worked through those emotions, and I understood, and that my mother was coming from a place that she did not want me to have a divorce like all my other relatives and cousins did. And
Gotcha.
so she was inputting me, like giving me information that this is what's going to save your marriage. It wasn't going to save
Yeah.
my marriage. It
She
was,
assumed that from what she see from everybody else's issues.
yeah. And
Mm.
so, and it was very, very hard for me to kind of take that in. And I
Mhm.
always thought it was me, that was my fault
Mm.
and everything. I wasn't a good
Mm.
wife. But with the help of a therapist and making me, I kind of bringing me into kind of a more enlightenment understanding
Mhm.
of my value and that what I was doing as a wife and a woman
Mhm.
was good.
Was
That, yeah,
enough.
yeah,
And
it
the
was
only
enough.
person that have to carry you is you. And I think if we don't acknowledge that the only person that we have to carry, instead of get, of course we're gonna get criticism from, mom, dad, what
Yeah.
they expectations are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but until we learn how to carry that weight and love ourselves
Mhm.
still within, that's one of the deep things, a deep conversation I have with my clients who want to lose weight. First of all, I want you to learn how to love yourself right where you are.
Mhm.
Because if you don't look in the mirror and already love yourself, you're not gonna like the next step neither.
True. True. Yeah, I mean, I can say, "I love this flab," Hey, yeah, who wants to, I would love to be a Kardashian and have people working on me left
No,
and
but
right.
is that for you though? And I always tell people, is that for you? Like, because like I was telling you earlier about the vision board. We was talking about this on one episode. It's just like the vision board is so
Yeah.
unrealistic because you put these other people on there and they don't have no kind of image of you. Like
Right,
this
right.
girl is 6 foot tall and I'm 5 foot. Like I'm not gonna ever grow that tall. I'm not gonna ever have legs like that. But in our minds, we feel like if we work out so hard or put in so much effort to look that way, then we eventually gonna get there. And it's not true. Let's be more realistic. Okay, well, I know that I want to tone up here in this area, so let me be the best me. Don't allow those thoughts to come in to where you think,
Right.
hey, of course everybody's not perfect, first of all, and then you're gonna have a little jiggly somewhere, and then I'm telling you, what's so crazy is that we judge ourselves so hardly, and then
Oh,
the
yeah.
next woman to see you say, "Oh, girl, you look so beautiful. You look gorgeous." Like, "Oh yeah." Are you gonna say, "Oh yeah, I just need to lose some weight up in here"? You're not gonna
Right.
say that. So be more realistic about yourself, guys. Like, love
Yeah.
yourself a little bit more. There are things that we know that we can fix. We know that we can fix. We can work on, but those are unrealistic things that are not really gonna come to
You're
light.
right. You're right. And I always tell my clients, I go, yeah, you may think you don't like your legs, but your legs take you places.
Take you places. You
It
better be
does.
glad they work.
They
Because some
do.
people don't have any to
No,
work.
people don't. Some people
Right.
are in wheelchairs. Some people have no legs. I go, appreciate what it can do for you. Every body part that we have is
Works for
there to
yourself.
help us and everything.
Mm.
And if we criticize it and everything, how can we love our bodies if we're
Mm.
always doing that? So we should appreciate all the things it does and everything. And that's what I try to emphasize, because you're right. We being a midlife woman, we're like, oh my gosh, my stomach is growing, and I'm feeling tired. But look at Nicole Kidman, she's 50 or 55 and she's got it all. She has a trim body. I go, but that's her. That's
That's
not me.
her.
You have to work on you. And the first thing you do is loving yourself. If you can look in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you, let's do that.
That's right.
And you know what? 9 out of 10 times, my clients can't do that because there is so much negativity around looking at themselves in the mirror because they're so used to looking and focusing on like the double chin or the thinning
Mhm.
of the hair. They're not seeing the beauty of what they have and everything. And that's where we begin.
And that's the sad part because that comes from deep down within. It can come from trauma. It can come from your self trauma, because sometimes we can give ourselves trauma. We can actually talk ourselves out of being great. We can talk ourselves into not being the full woman that we want to become.
Right.
And it and people always say, well, it's from somebody else. Well, they told me this, or they made me feel like this. No, you have to actually take that. So that's just like if I'm gonna hand you a lip gloss. If you don't like this color, are you gonna take it anyway? I don't take nothing from nobody that don't belong to me.
Right. Right,
If
right,
I know this is not going to fulfill Nadia, I'm not going to accept that. You cannot tell me that I'm ugly. You cannot tell me that I'm overweight. You cannot
right.
tell me anything other than what I already know about myself. So say we need to start talking better to ourselves. We have to start taking care of ourselves so we can love ourselves more.
Definitely. You're right. Yeah. A lot of us learn from the past. We hear
Mhm.
it from people that said it to us, or we overheard it from other conversation. And then we took on that responsibility of saying those words to ourselves. That person could have been gone, passed
Mhm.
away, or, you have a good relationship, but still those beliefs are still with us and we
Mm.
need to kind of rechange it. And that's why when I encounter people right now, family or friends, when they're like, "Hey, I need your help," or "I need you to do this and everything," and I say, "I can't do it right now for whatever reasons," and it's because I'm putting myself as a priority, and they're
Mm.
like, "Well, see, you just don't have time for me. You don't have," and I'm like, "It's not that I don't have time for you. It's just that I need to take care of myself." And a lot of them don't quite understand
Mm-mm.
what I'm
They
trying
don't.
to say. I
They
am
do because that's not them.
right. Right. And they're used to being the ones like, okay, you need to take care of family and friends and everything. And I still do on the way I feel that
Mm.
is still comfortable and I'm keeping myself a priority.
That's right.
Because the old me, I would be out there night and day helping them move into their house. I used to help people pay for their rent, or I used to provide clothes, or I used to be there with my friend at 2 or 3 in the morning, or whatever, or helping them out and everything. It's like, and I take in all that emotional stuff that
Mm.
comes with me. And what do I do with it? I go into my kitchen and eat it because I'm an emotional eater.
Wow.
So I gained the weight and everything. So
Hmm.
I had to learn to set boundaries and everything.
When I
So
took sick, that was one of the things. My friends, you never been sick, before. But I remember one had marital issues, one had, and she just was stressed out. The other one had weight issues, and I told them we sat down. I remember like it was yesterday. We sat down. It's like 5 or 6 of them, and I said, "I've taken on all of y'all's mess. This is it because now I have to take care of myself. Everybody have something to share that's going on with them. I was always the person that would keep my little things inside because I felt like, well, maybe I shouldn't say nothing about it because I need to
mhm,
help them right now. Well, when I took sick, and nobody still didn't believe I was sick because I'm one of the most healthiest people that they know, and I literally had the stress. I'm telling you, I took on everything that they were dishing out to me. So
right.
another things, guys, while we talking about this, self-care is not only fixing yourself and make sure you take care. Don't take nobody else's stuff, and friends, stop giving your friends all of your crap. Don't dump everything out on people every day.
Right.
See if they are mentally equipped to even hold the things that you're bringing forward to them, because if not, you need to take it upwards. You need to take
Mhm.
it to a therapist or something like that.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, I had to let go of a couple of friends because I
Mm.
felt that they were just draining me. And even setting boundaries was just not enough. And
Mm.
as much as I loved and cared for them and everything,
Mhm.
it was just every time I hung out with them, I felt drained because we were
Mm.
always focusing on their problems and what advice can I give them and how can
Wow.
I help them, and it's like, and you're right, I could never express like, well, this is what's going on in my life, I'm stressing about this and everything, because I always felt like, oh, I don't want to bug her, I don't want them to deal with it or anything. I'm better off just trying to help them, or I try to avoid my problems and everything. I'm like, I'll deal with it on my
Mm.
own. But
That's right.
it wasn't really good for me mentally, emotionally, or
Mm.
physically, because it exasperated, and it came out through overeating
And
instead.
you don't have to deal with these things, as
No,
Lisa Lee is telling you. Like, we are coaches, we're here for you. Now, we are not your psychiatrist. Now, she did go to school for that, and she can do that, help you. But most of us that are coaches are not your handlers. We are not your therapists. We want to know about you so we can assist you and help you. But also, too, we are human as well, and we don't want you to just come through the door talking about all your issues and problems.
right.
Let's get to the core and the
Mhm.
root cause as to why you having emotional. distractions
Yeah.
or
And what I usually start with my clients is finding out what are their health and wellness goals,
mm-hmm.
their personal goals. And a lot of them come like, I want to lose weight. I go, well, what does losing weight mean to
Look
you?
like to you.
Yeah. What does that feel like? If you were to step into that healthy version of yourself, tell me, what does that look like? And
Where
then
does it take you?
yeah, because a lot of them we cannot imagine. We just here's my
Mm-hmm.
list of things I want to do. I
Mm-hmm.
want to lose weight. Tell me how to lose weight. What do I eat? How do I exercise? I'm like, you already know what to eat and you know how to exercise. What you're missing is the connection of the vision. How is it that you look like? How do you feel? Because you're going to go through times when you're on your weight loss journey or trying to be a healthier midlife woman. You're going to go back to like, oh, I'm stressed. I just want to go and do this and do that. That vision is going to be there to remind you this is the reason why you're here. Your
Mm.
why. This is why you want to do this. So we have to shift it into that self-love mindset. How is this going to affect Nadia? How's this going to affect Lisa? How's it going to affect this person? So we're always checking in with ourselves.
That's right.
Self-love is such a powerful tool and it's
Mm.
overlooked. And this is
It
why
is.
we need that.
It is definitely overlooked, and I agree. Because we work. If most of us are entrepreneurs, we work. And like you said earlier, that you may not take the time out to eat or anything like that. I'm going to tell you one thing about me. I like to eat and I like my me time. So I do a lot, but then I don't do a lot. If I don't want to do it, I'm going to tell you no. Or
Mhm.
matter of fact, I'm not going to even respond to it, because some things we put ourselves into. And I think that's where most of us need to stop, putting ourselves into situations. Stop being the friend that people can dump information out on you. And now you're stressed out and you don't know or have anywhere to go to talk
Mhm.
about your issues and your concerns. Stop showing up at 2 o'clock in the morning, sitting at the hospital with people, and they won't do the same thing for you. Or while you're trying to have family time, you're on the phone with them, trying to comfort them in the other room while your husband and your child and all these things.
Saying, "Where's mom? I mean, why is she not having dinner with us or anything?" Yeah,
Exactly.
you're right. You're right. It's all about just setting boundaries. I mean, I had a very emotional a few weeks ago, a really strong emotional reaction from someone I hired to help me with my
Mm,
business. And when you're in that contract, Nadia, and you're
mm,
like, you can't get rid of this person, you're like, okay, I'm stuck with you for the next XYZ months and everything. And every time I talked to her,
mm.
she made it just, I felt very stressed. My stress level was like a 10.
Automatically, it's
It
like
was
an
just,
attack.
yeah,
Right.
it was just really bad. And that's where I came into those, where I did two things and I took my own advice. One, I worked that stress out, and that was through journaling and through
Mm.
exercising. I Running is my godsend. I can run and I'm
Really?
so
I
good.
do not like running. I
Oh,
guess because I ran in high school, junior high. I said I would never run again because I turned into a lady, and I was like, this lady is not allowing me to be a runner, so I'm going to stop this stuff immediately. And even though I like running hurdles, I still kind of enjoy, just like the little sprint. But going for a run is not going to work for me.
oh,
Not at all. I'd rather jog or go and dance. That's
oh
my
yeah. I running was my that got me out from
that
losing
is
weight.
so good.
But the second part was that I had to be straight with her and tell her what I'm feeling about what's going
Mm.
on.
Mhm.
And it was a moment where she's like, I did not realize that. I did not know. But she was so in focus of what was her agenda
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
being her client, she wasn't listening to where I was on my journey. And
Mm.
so she kept pushing me to meet that agenda and that expectation, that feeling like I felt like when I was with my
That's
mom,
right. That's right.
and it was not working out. So I had to stop her and just say, you need to see where your client is on
Mm.
the journey. And I can tell you right now, as your client, I'm over here and you're over there, and
Yeah,
we're
we need
not
to come
working
together.
together.
That's
And
right.
so she realized that. And so for the last remaining time that we had, we worked well together. So it's very important, whether it's personal or whether it's
That's
business.
right. That's
You
right.
always have to have that communication, and you have to
Oh
make
yeah.
that yourself a priority, or
That's
else
right.
the old me would have just kept it and zipped it and dealt with
That's
the
right.
stress and everything.
The line of relationship is communication, and nobody wants to take that serious. They overlook the communicating because they can, some people consider that being argumentative, or you causing an issue. Why are you talking about this? Like, I'm just telling you what you need to do. And a lot of coaches, what I've learned, because I train personal trainers too, because I used to be a personal trainer, but they believe in a one-stop shop, and I don't believe in that tactic. Not at all. So I get on them about pushing one thing on everybody, and then they also push, far as wise as just you getting a meal prepping. That's just their belief system. I don't know who taught them this thing. I'm like, get out of that, because when you get your certification in anything, right, you have to be the best of you into that thing. Like,
Right,
and nobody's gonna make you give you, well, say for instance, if you were to be a Mary Kay, what is it called? One
a
of those people,
consultant, yeah, one of those
consultant.
consultants. Hmm.
So I was gonna say coach, but it's not a coach, but one of those consultants, and then and you become a makeup artist. That's not the same. Like, so now you're pulling out of your uniqueness to use something that can help them, but not necessarily you just use
Right,
it as a guideline.
right,
Yeah. So that's what people do. They feel like, oh, I'm a fitness coach. This is the basic knowledge that I'm going to give you. Everybody's going to work with the same template, and that's not
right, right, right. I mean, health and wellness coaching
true.
is very different from being just a health coach, because everybody, like you said, everybody wants meal plans. They want to tell, they want to know what foods they're supposed to eat. And I always say, you already know. You already know what to eat. What you don't know is making the connection of what your habits and behaviors are affecting you to how to eat. So once you check in with your thoughts and your belief
Mm.
systems and how you feel about yourself, nothing's going to change. And the way you make change is by loving yourself and saying, you know what? Okay, yeah, I had a cheeseburger and fries yesterday. I'm not going to beat myself up. I'll just
Right.
reset myself and say, tomorrow I'll resume healthy. And then you move on. It's not a get out of free, like, okay, I ate a cheeseburger and fries. There goes my diet.
There it
Or,
goes. Beat yourself down.
yeah,
Right.
or like, oh, see, I'm not worth it. I can't resist
Mm.
carbs. So
True.
we work with that. And even in business, it's
Mm-hmm.
all about mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mental strategy, because there are days when we feel like,
Don't
oh
want
my
to get
God,
up and do any of that.
I don't have any clients, or I can't do this, why even invest any more money in a business that's not working and everything. And it's all
Mm.
about checking in with yourself, finding out what is it that you need at this moment to get you to the next level. What is working? What is it that your roadblocks are? And it could be,
Mm.
marketing. It could be you need a coach, or what is it? Because until we check in with ourselves, we don't know.
We don't know. We don't know. And like you said, check up. It's check-in time. You check up, and see where you are. And that's why I teach a wellness wheel. And because I'm a wellness lifestyle strategist. So since I've been a fitness coach, I've done detox therapy, I've done pretty much everything: nutritionists, dietitians, herbalists, all those things.
Right.
And so to put them together to get people to understand, women, most busy women, to understand that it starts with a balance. And I do the wellness start with emotions, and we end with recovery, because you're going to recover. Now the thing is that you're going to revisit these things consistently. You're going to
Mhm.
revisit your emotions, but since the plans are customized, you get to go back to it. You don't
Mhm.
relive what you've done before, because you've grown. So now that you've grown, you're gonna reiterate that will again. And once
Right.
that will go, you, because that way you're gonna be able to keep going. Yeah.
Right. You just acknowledge those thoughts. You're like, oh, okay, here they come, and let them go. And don't sit and visit with them. Just let them move on and
That's right.
everything. And then just replace them with something that will give you that positive feeling,
Mm.
because, our the way we think, it affects our feelings
Hmm.
and everything. And so it ends up whatever actions that we choose
Oh
from,
yeah.
like Brooke Castillo had said, she's a life coach, and she talks about behaviors. You're like, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, your behaviors equals your results and everything.
Automatically. And
So
I agree. So that's why I start with emotions, because most of us have anxiety to lose weight, anxiety to meet financial goals, anxiety to even just have friendships and social life
mhm,
and stuff like that. And then that anxiety eventually turns into stress, and now your body's stressed out. Now you figure, well, Nadia, I'm gaining weight and I don't know why. Well, I eat well. I've been going to the gym. Well, what's going on in your life?
mhm,
Well, my job is stressing me out. I don't have time for myself. I can't go and do have fun with my friends. Okay, well, we're gonna make sure that we gotta figure out how to de-stress that. If
right.
you've been there, if there's somewhere where you want to be too, let's see how we can figure that out. And then they go, oh wait, it's not gonna be that easy though. Then when they go through the program, they're like, wait a minute, all this time, I already know what I need to do. You just need to put it into perspective. You need to start. Prioritize your self care.
Yes, it is. It is. It's just, yeah, just reverse it. That's why I say use your thoughts and feelings first, and go from there, because whatever actions will follow. So
That's right.
just understanding, like, what is it that I need to do and everything. How is it that I'm feeling? Yes, I really want that cookie, but I need to stop and think, is this an emotional response? Is it because
Mm,
I'm stressing out, or is it I'm really hungry? And if I'm hungry, can I look for something better? How can I help myself get some more fruits and vegetables? So it's always
mm,
asking. So I do informational in not informational info, but it's like an interviewing process where
mhm.
I don't give them the answers. They know the answers. I just provide them the right questions
That's right.
that brings out those answers, and they're like, oh yeah, I knew that. I'm like, great, so let's come up with a plan, let's see how it works and everything. So that is what I do in my business. And it helps out so much because I
Mm.
do it personally in my life because I know it works. So
And
it's
I was just
nothing.
about to ask you, how do you, as an emotional eater, how do
Mhm.
you cope with getting out of that? How do you, I know you have to recognize it first, and you're just like, wait a minute, something's wrong. How do you climb out of that?
The way I climb out of it is like, if I'm under a very stressful moment and everything, my first old tape that I hear is like, "Where's the nearest McDonald's? Because I really want a Big Mac and fries." It's just an old tape, but it keeps
Oh
playing.
my, yeah, yeah.
It's always there, and I say, "No, I really don't need that." I go, "What is it that I'm trying to say to myself? What is it that
Mm,
I need for myself?" And I
mm,
stop because 5 minutes ago I wasn't hungry. Now I'm looking for the nearest McDonald's. No, I it's something that needs to be fulfilled. And what it needs from me is that I talk to myself. I'm like, okay, Lisa, what's going on? What is it? I feel angry. I feel stressed. I feel lost, or
mhm,
I'm
mhm.
stuck with what I'm dealing with. How am I going to figure this out?
Right.
I don't know what to do. And so these thoughts that come out and everything, it allows me to say, okay, what is it that I need right now to fix this? What can I do? Let me write all these questions down. What are
Mm,
all you know, my feelings and my thoughts? And then I go through them. Now, granted, it doesn't always happen like that in this very pretty little thing where I'm like, oh, 10 minutes later, I'm all better now. No, sometimes I need a little bit more help. And then I go to my husband and I said, I just want you to listen. And
oh,
he'll just sit there and listen. I just spew it out. And he's like, okay. I'm like, and I'll talk to myself. And he's like, do you want me to say anything? He goes, no, no, thank you. Other times I go for a run. But what I do is that I know that if I'm reaching for something sweet
mm,
or something that I like from McDonald's, that means something emotionally got triggered.
gotcha.
And
Mhm,
what is that emotionally trigger? What was that thought? And I go back and then I'm like, okay, but I give myself compassion and understanding through this whole
mhm,
process.
mhm, mhm.
Because if I do want a hamburger and fries like I did yesterday, I'm not setting up like the next day or throughout the night, like, why did I do that? I just gained my pound back or whatever. I'm going through menopause. Losing a pound means a lot to me.
Oh my
And
goodness.
so, but I don't. I say, hey, it was, I need, at that moment, that was my only option.
That
I
was
was
unique.
out in the
Right.
middle of nowhere, which I really was. And so I was far from home. And I'm like, and my son just got back from India yesterday. And
Oh,
yeah, and so what did he want? He wanted In and Out. And I'm like, okay. He goes, I need food, mom. So,
oh,
but it was a moment where I'm like, I'm okay with this. It's all right.
gotcha.
But today I'm back on to way I'm eating. The
And it's
old
okay
me,
to get back on track. Yeah.
yeah, and it's okay. We will hit bumps and everything, but I don't get stuck like I used to.
Mm, I like that. She said, we will hit bumps, but I don't get stuck. And that goes with, like I said, with the wellness wheel. You're
Mm-hmm.
going to hit bumps. You're going to have obstacles. You're going to have distractions. You're going to have some U turns because you're going to return back to the same place if you don't get it the first time.
Right, right.
And the GPS might stop working for a while. So you might have to go on your own journey by yourself,
Yeah,
not with others. You might not have people to talk about it, at that time, but you're going to get through it, as long as you take care of you first.
true. Nothing is off the table when I tell my clients who come to me to want to lose weight or be healthier. They're like, oh, does being healthy mean I'll never be able to go and have my
Find
favorite
it.
meals? I'm like, no, shoot. If that was the case, I wouldn't be on this. No, it's all about just being aware of your situation.
That's right.
Why you're doing this. If it's if it's a family event, then enjoy yourself. Don't worry about how many calories or whatever it
I
is,
agree.
or anything. Enjoy the moment because that's what life is all
It
about.
is.
It is in enjoying the moments that you're with your family and friends, or or sitting outside and watching the sunset and drinking a glass of wine or whatever, or a glass of Coke in my case, and just okay, it's fine. I'm not going to restrict myself to the point where I can't enjoy life.
That's
I
right.
need, like you said, there is a balance between them. You have
There's a
to.
balance. One day I can eat 8 cupcakes and dance for 8 hours, and then I'm telling on myself. I love baked goods, and then the next day I eat nothing but fruits and vegetables. But majority of the time, that's my life. And sometimes eating like that, because this is natural for me. It's not like somebody told me this is what I need to do, but those are the things that make my body go yes. You know how
Yeah,
people get ice cream and they go, oh my god, and then some people, like you said, McDonald's, and they go, oh my god, no. When I get a smoothie, and I'm talking about not one of those little 20 ounces, I get like a 40 ounce, and even when I make my own, it's probably like 48 to 64 ounces maybe. But that's my addiction, and my body, it yearns for it. It's loving it. When I do give it ice cream, it's just like, oh hey y'all, you know. When I give it a smoothie, my body's like, oh my god, yes. And this is almost daily. So you want, whatever it is that you do enjoy or indulge in, for that little short period of time to make you feel good, not to become an addiction. You want that thing to, to be temporary. Yeah, that's
right.
all.
Don't you savor it when you
Savor
when you
it.
have it? You're like, oh my gosh, this feels so good. I haven't had it in 6 months. You take the moment to enjoy it and savor it, and
That's
it's a
right.
special moment.
It's a
It
special moment.
it is something that you kind of enjoy. But that's what I mean. It's all about, you can still enjoy it,
You
but
can.
it brings it on to another level.
It
That's how I
does.
see it. It's like when I had that cheeseburger, I'm like, oh my gosh, that feels so good. And I enjoyed the moment. There was no voice in my head, oh my gosh, you're eating
I
all this.
need one more, and I need to go back. I hate this. Yeah, stuff like that.
Peaceful moment. I was laughing. I had a good time talking to my son. We were talking about his trip in India. So I was
And
focused
food binds.
on,
Food it helps you bind. So I tell people all the time, that don't take away from the foods that you would normally eat. I dislike it a lot when the first step they go, well, Nadia, I'm eating salads, and those stories just go so south, and then I
you
don't
can
need
only
to
eat
eat
so many.
carbs. Well,
Yeah.
you do need carbs because carbs give you energy. It's different ways to get carbs, but you need it, and they go,
Yeah.
oh, well,
Yeah.
nobody never told me that. Yes, because I want you to eat those 8 cupcakes and then eat a salad. I want you to create that balance to where in your mind you go, oh yeah, I ate that, but I'm not going to continue to do it. I know for a fact I need to change that habit. Something's in there that it's not sitting with me well. Not even collectively thinking this is going to make me gain weight. Another big issue that I have, because I'm a gut health specialist, that's what I specialize in, is you're not going. Anything that's making you not go, you might want to stop that.
Right.
Because it becomes scary if you're not, balancing those things out. So that's the only thing that I preach about and tell you, because you can have all the goodies you want, because we need those things. A lot of people deplete themselves from, magnesium, and certain chocolates give you that. So have a chocolate, or have a cocoa. We never know what our bodies, because I'm sure like the alternatives of everything. Like most time we want candy, we really need this and that. And
Right.
so I tell people, when you start to notice those things, when you really get them in, like to know that that's becoming a habit, then you need to find out what you need to put back in there. Like, so
Right.
if you're taking it out, you got to put something good back in.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Very true. Yeah.
Well, yes, well, Miss Lisa, this is good. You came out the door with some great information, especially with self care. And so I had a question for you, but I want you to mainly share how people can find you in your programs, and be a part of your community.
Sure. It's www.luna-wellness.com. And you can find me there. You can set up a chat with me, and we'll talk for about 20 minutes. What are your goals, and see how I can help you, and then we go from there. And it's all free. There's no money involved.
Awesome. And I know people like the word free because they want to get those assessments and stuff like that just to see what's wrong with them. And they swear they cure themselves after that. When you still need help, you're still going to need the help to take those actions.
Definitely, definitely. Yay.
So yes, definitely. So you guys get in the community, go to her website, check her out, support her. And don't forget to, and I want you to share a word of encouragement,
Mhm.
wisdom, either way, entrepreneurship, or just self-care, or anything that you like to share with us.
Just know that having a business is a journey, and
Mm.
that you will deal with your ups and downs, but always keep in mind that there is a person, there are people out there that need your help. They
Mhm.
need your story, they need your advice. And if you kind of pack up and leave, they won't have anybody. And that is true advice, because there are certain people that we attract in our business. And those people really, when they make that connection with you, they're like, oh my gosh, where have you been? Just like Teresa was. And so there are plenty of Teresas out there for people that need help.
I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, guys. Again, check her out. And don't forget to go to nadiabynature.com and check out all the goodies that I have for you there. And until next time, we'll see you again. Have a good one.
Peace.